What's up, Duderinos? Welcome back to the Game Addicts Podcast, the show where we talk about the modern retro video games that we play and collect. I am this podcast player, one Brando, and joining me here today as this podcast player two is Mike.
Oh, hello.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about a slew of news and views, as well as the round 2 voting results for our greatest controller of all time, helped shaped by you, our listeners, over on our social medias on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you so much. And, of course, Mike and I get a vote as well. It may or may not swing any of these votes. And, of course, the brackets are posted on every single social media we have and are posted pretty much the day that this podcast goes live. Round 3 will be up. The quarterfinals, I do believe, we're getting closer and closer to finding out.
The cube wins.
Well, we will find out, my friend. Of course, we have a lot of controllers up for grabs in that. We had 24, and now we are kneading away at them, and we're going to figure out which controller, as far as us, and then, of course, you guys. You guys can help shape this. If you guys go to our Twitter and Facebook, you guys get 2 votes. So if you're like, dude, I don't want that damn DualShock 4 to win, all you got to do is go vote twice.
Yeah.
And you can vote against it. We have plenty of news that's been released because we have Gamescom. There's some here. I've kind of pick and chose some stuff. But I've got to ask you, Mike.
Yes.
You have started to buy some stuff. We normally do pickups. You're starting to you have to repair your wife's computer? Is that what's going on?
So I bought, yeah. So it's not, when we got that replacement computer that I was going to originally use for streaming, and then, of course, hers blew. The girl put a graphics card in it and didn't upgrade the power supply. Which is why
when we plugged Elgato in, it freaked out.
It freaked out. And the board is pretty much fried. So I was trying
is that when it happened, or did it happen after?
I'm not sure. I'm assuming it happened.
That happened months ago that we tried that.
Right. It still works fine, but I was putting everything onto the solid state drive to help increase boot speed and all that jazz. And when I tried to go to BIOS, it wouldn't let me. It actually shut the keyboard off and then shut the computer off. Just me pushing one F key.
Well, you remember that
shut it down.
When we plugged in the Elgato,
it freaked everything out.
The keyboard didn't work. There was all kinds of stuff that went haywire with it.
And then I upgraded the power supply.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah, okay.
And then it's still doing it when I wanted to do that. So I just decided it's only going to cost like $300 because I already have purchased 60% of the stuff for a new computer. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy the rest. So I bought like a CPU, the KB, I think KB Lake, I can't remember. 7700, not K, just the regular one because she doesn't need to overclock. Then I bought a closed loop liquid cooling for the CPU, and it's massive. Luckily, I have a very large case that I purchased, but it was normally I wouldn't buy that, especially for that, because you don't really need it if you're not overclocking it. But it was $30. The fan and radiator that I was going to buy for it was $30. Like, well, I could just go to this, and it'd be the same deal, and it'd be a heck of a lot quieter. So I did that, and then I bought some adhesive gel. That's anytime you change a CPU, you need adhesive gel, and that's it. I'm going to use the RAM out of the old computer, and basically I'm just going to give it a fresh case, a fresh board, and a fresh CPU, and take the hard drives and put it in the new one and be done.
Well, that's awesome. And, of course, you told me that you're going to go ahead after you get done with that and start to buy
the big boy.
And I have been utilizing our new laptop
Yes.
for streaming, and I did so this past weekend as I finished and streamed The Last of Us. I started with the Left Behind DLC, which I put right in the middle of the game, kind of, and then I just went ahead and finished the last 2 chapters up. So that is up right now. Of course, on Twitch, you can go find out our schedule for gaming and all that stuff. But then go over to our YouTube where that stuff is backed up and put up there as well. Gameplay videos are twice a week that I've been uploading Monday and Friday. So there might be a little bit of a backlog. There for a while, I had a really big backlog of Last of Us and Final Fantasy VII. But I will increase the number of gameplay videos the more that I stream. So if I have enough of them, I actually might start releasing more. Of course, the video version of our audio podcast goes up on Thursdays everywhere. And then here very soon, our podcast is getting streamed on Twitch.
Yes.
You'll be able to watch our podcast as we do it live with our messy hair, with our, getting off of work, us sitting here. I mean, obviously it's going to be a lot cleaner than what we have it, because when we did the video, we did pretty decent at keeping our table clean. But
yeah,
right now we got cords everywhere. We got icy drinks and whatnot. We got that set up. So when we start streaming, we'll obviously be, I'm learning how to use all this stuff and getting ready. And so all this stuff that we've talked about for all this time is coming to fruition. I've been working really hard to get stuff ready. And
yes, you have.
And I'm so excited because I wanted to do this for so long now that it's happening, it's like I'm going haywire. I'm thinking about it all the time, about what I could do this. What if I did this? What if I did this? And so putting 100% dedication into our podcast and into our brand and putting us out there as, hey, we're 2 dudes who like to play games and talk about it.
Right.
That's it. We're not some guys out on the West Coast that have all these ties to the video game industry. We're just 2 dudes. And if you are also a dude or dudette or duderino, then listen and watch our show, because your odds are we're going to have a lot in common.
Right.
But
I have an article.
Go for it.
So this would be 20/08/2018. So this was what, 2 days ago? What is the date today?
22nd, yes. Yes, so it's August 20.
So Monday,
Yeah.
at Gamescom, pre-Gamescom, NVIDIA unveiled the RTX series, which is a RTX 2000 series. And so within like moments of them posting it, I have alerts set up on my phone, and it's like, hey, NVIDIA just announced the card. This thing is sickening if it holds true, because we haven't seen any benchmarks. But this thing is literally 8K ready. But the top, they're already releasing, which is actually not what NVIDIA normally does, but they're releasing a TI, a 2080 Ti. Usually that's the second.
Ooh, I know what's on your mind.
Basically the second set of the series, because they do like the 1080, and then a year or so many months later they release the 1080 Ti, which is more power, blah blah blah. So they really unveiled everything. So the starting price for the RTX 2080 Ti, which is in euros. Oh, there it is $1,200 as a starting MSR price. That is almost double. They said, be prepared, because they're not going down anytime soon. But yeah, they actually announced it September 20th.
That's the release?
That's the Custom Founders Edition RTX 2080 and 2080 Ti are already available on pre-order. So when they announced them, they were up on pre-order immediately. With shipments slated to start on September 20th, 2018.
Jeez.
And the 2070 will arrive in October. No release date announced.
Wow.
But I'm glad I waited.
Because that's what you're going to buy.
Because I won't need to upgrade for... I mean, we're talking this thing is 8... Oh, it also added a C USB port in the back to increase the VR experience.
Cool.
So they're doing a lot. It seems like they're going a lot that way. But for you guys that are out there that are crazy about this stuff like I am, that really, really monitors it, this thing is nasty. And good luck finding one. Because within 3 hours, I popped everything up and everywhere was sold out of the TI. Even the bundles that are like $2,200 for just the new CPU, new motherboard, and new graphics card. They were sold out. Like $2,200. You're gone.
You know, like, obviously, we have a podcast that dedicates itself to pretty much
all things gaming,
but like basically what I'm saying is that like we spend a lot of money on our entertainment.
Yes.
But you know, it's not sometimes until you take a step back and then you realize, man, I've really spent a lot of money on this. But that right there's an eye opener to like how crazy have we gotten as a consumer species to spend pretty much fake paper or digital money that like is it that we have set up this entire system that everything has to cost something.
Yep.
It's an economy. And here we are working our tails off. A lot of people are going to be, you know, going in debt to buy a 2080 Ti graphics card that's like $1,200, $2,000.
Yep. Like
wow.
the ones that are secondhand by like Asus and all those that are creating their own pin. Theirs are $1,500, and I'm going liquid cooling, so mine's going to be 18 minimum. If I buy one made by the manufacturer. I'd rather buy one made by the manufacturer because then if something goes wrong or it leaks, they give me a new one. Now, if I make one, tear it all apart, put it all together, and it leaks, it's my fault.
It's on you, pal.
It's my fault. And I don't have that kind of dough to throw. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. It's a big thing on gaming.
Yeah, a couple days ago, there was an article that came out that from an analyst said PlayStation 5 might come out in late 2019, but it depends on parts. Essentially, there's been a lot of talk about the PS5 console, but apparently it could be coming sooner because they're going to be using a certain thing in there. There are two companies, Murata Manufacturing and TDK, have noted that the supply and demand for monolithic ceramic capacitors could have an effect on when the system will be ready for market. A lot of high-tech devices are utilizing these for maximum efficiency, and PS5 would easily follow suit, but these companies feel that they need to make sure they have enough in stock before they release a date for the system, you know, for the launch.
Yeah.
And that is probably why PlayStation is being so mum about anything about it until they are pretty well sure of stock, manufacturing's time, dates, because we are, as crazy as it sounds, nearing the end of this generation already.
I know.
This generation with this, because when you think about it, okay, the last generation was longer due to the recession, and the economy has been a lot better since then.
It has.
It has improved it slowly improved over the last 7-8 years. So we're not in a recession right now. The economy's doing pretty well, and it's kind of went back to the days of old, back in when the original PlayStation 1 released in 95, PS2 released in 2000.
Yep.
That's 5 years. To us as kids, that seemed like a long time.
Well, that and the array of games that were being dropped on the PlayStation was I mean, it was like somebody was just taking a bucket and just dropping them each month. The amount of titles.
And see, so much more goes into developing games.
Exactly.
Now. So that's one reason why maybe the overall library number might not be as high, or maybe, I guess, quality titles. There's a lot more indie games out.
Yes.
Now. So there's a lot more slew of those, but so like there's no shortage of games to play.
No.
It's just a matter of like big AAA titles are fewer and far between. There's always a good number every year.
Right.
But some have speculated towards a 2020 to 2021 release date, which makes more sense as it gives Sony the time to procure the demand. But I wonder if... See, I was thinking of 2020 myself.
I would think 2020 would be the best.
I'm not going to be surprised, though.
But I'm wondering if they're in the race. I wonder if they've got wind of Xbox's closing in on that window, and they don't want to release with Xbox. They want to release probably 6 months before or after. I would say before, because right now PlayStation is leading the race, clearly. And it would behoove them to not be first out the gate.
Sure, and
but don't send us bad product.
No, don't rush it. Don't pull a 360 and just try to get out, because while Xbox essentially kind of did win that generation in the end, like the numbers, the overall sales numbers between the two consoles are almost like within 1 million or two. Right. That's crazy that each of them sold about over 80 million apiece for its lifetime. That's crazy, especially when you think about how many red rings there were.
I was one of those.
The PlayStation's network hack, all the things that plagued that generation, and how the PlayStation was so overpriced, and it still came up, and it pretty much closed that window, with the Xbox. I mean, Xbox still kind of won, but...
Right.
For me personally, would I be surprised at E3 next year for them to start going, this is what's going on? No. However, what I see more likely to be is them doing their whole thing and pulling like an Xbox they did with the X, where they go, guess what? This. And you're like, what? And they're like, we'll see you at PSX.
Yeah.
And then that's when you're going to get, at PSX, it was when you're going to get a bigger, deeper look at the new console, and when you might get a release date or a release window, whether or not they're going to wait till the next holiday season, or they pull a switch and release off-center to that, maybe in the spring. Because how cool would it be for them to announce it, and then you were waiting for more information, and then they dump it on you at PSX in December, and then they release it in the spring, especially with all those tax returns coming in.
It'd be a good time.
And
it would be... So here's my question. What games do you think they're going to drop with it? Because they have to have couple launch titles.
Sure, absolutely. I think Death Stranding is going to be a PS5 game, but I don't know if it'll be ready by then.
Probably.
But see, like the games that we've seen, I've heard The Last of Us 2 is a PS4 game.
Right.
And honestly, here's what I see. I see them releasing a console like PS5 that doesn't exclude the PS4 library. It's going to be backwards compatible. It has to be. Because you're not going to kill the PS4 off and leave it, leave it in the dust. It's still going to be selling consoles. You're going to have the PS5, the new console, for the next 2 or 3 years. You're still going to be making and selling PS4 games. So, like, when you get the new FIFA, there's going to be a PS4 version, a PS5 version, whatever. But the PS4 version will be reverse compatible. You're going to be able to put it in. And then up-res, whether or not the PS5 will take further advantage of the new specs, I don't know, because those are big third parties, and not a lot of times do they go full tilt with their development for the new. It's not until they get a few games in where they get comfortable with the hardware, then they start testing what they can do. But as far as like launch games from Sony, I don't know. Do you do Last of Us Part 2, or do you use that as a system closer for PS4 and then make it reverse?
I think that I think it should be the song for the PS4.
I think so too.
But I believe that the PS5 should have an up-res capability to bump that up for those buy a PS5, and then we'll bump it up to true 4K, whatever it's going to be. I'm assuming true 4K. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Well, because currently the PS4 Pro doesn't do 4K. It does 4K interlaced. And
Yeah.
It's a little different. Or I'm sorry, 4K checkerboard. But another big news item that came out this week on Monday was Amazon Prime discontinuing 20% off video game pre-orders. So yeah, if you were a Prime member and you pre-ordered a game, you got 20% off of your pre-order, excluding like collector's editions and stuff like that. But now it's completely gone. So the change will take in effect as the day you're hearing this, on the day of release. This is August 23rd. You guys have a week. August 28th will be the last. That's the end. So if you have any games, Pokemon, Fallout, Red Dead, Spider-Man even, the Resident Evil, Kingdom Hearts, Assassin's Creed, call it whatever. If you guys want them discounted,
Get them now.
Go do it. You know, and when you order them, they will not charge you until those games ship. And here's a little tip from you guys, from me, or to you guys from me. So I went on and I pre-ordered Resident Evil 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3, 2 games I really wasn't going to pre-order. I was like, I'll just pick them up. Because I was just going to get Resident Evil 2, and then I was going to pick up Kingdom Hearts probably a month or two later when I'm ready to buy it.
Right.
But I went ahead and did them. Here's the thing. My Resident Evil one was the digital deluxe or what? Not the digital deluxe. I keep saying that. It was the deluxe version that came with the bonus skins and guns, and then I could swap in the original soundtrack of the game, which I think is kind of cool.
Right.
There are tracks in the original RE2, like when you first go into the police station with the whole like little bells and chimes. Oh man, nostalgia. But literally, I paid with tax $60 for that when it was $70, so I got $10 off on it. Great. Oh, and then for Kingdom Hearts, that ended up being $48. So those combined is about $100. So what I'll do, I will go probably around Christmas time when we get our bonus. I'll take $100 and I'll go buy an Amazon gift card from CVS Pharmacy or wherever you can get your Amazon gift cards. Put $100 on it. Then I will go to my Amazon page on Amazon.com. Go to my orders, insert the gift card key, and then apply balance to that order.
Yeah.
That $100 will take off, it'll take off the $60, and then I'll have $40 left on it or whatever. And then that order will be completely paid in full. So I used my own money to buy a card. It's a little bit of a wonky thing, but it works. And therefore it allows you, if you know a game is coming down the line and you're like, man, times are tough right now, but I might be able to save for it. But then you also don't want to risk not being able to save for it like later, because sometimes stuff happens, and you end up having a broken computer, getting struck by lightning,
and the king of bad thing happening,
getting the munchies, whatever you're gonna have. You can put that money aside and put those on cards and slowly chip away at it, and then either you pay it all off or you pay enough of it off to where it's not going to be such a big sting. Because $60 is a lot to throw down for a game sometimes.
Yeah,
especially when you're on a budget. So definitely,
I just make sure that my Amazon credit card balance is good.
And that's another way to do it. So another big news item came out that I shared with you that got me really excited.
Yeah,
Grandia 1 and 2 coming to Nintendo Switch.
Man, that's awesome.
I love the Grandia games.
Okay, here's my thing.
Huh.
Do not make Grandia 2 download only.
Oh my God, they will.
You know they will.
I didn't even think about that till you said that. Damn it, you...
Because it's going to be Grandia 1 on cart. Download Grandia 2. Just like they did with Mega Man.
You ruined my day with this. Damn it! I was so.
I'm sorry, but
I was so excited to talk about this. I love the Grandia games, and
I can't wait to. I'll pick them up, but it is upsetting that is probably the route that's going to happen.
So Game Arts owns Grandia, and of course the first Grandia got released in '97.
Yeah,
for the PlayStation, and also for the Sega Saturn. I want to say. And then Grandia 2 went to the Dreamcast in 2000. then Grandia 3 went to PS2. Grandia 2 also went to, I want to say Grandia 2 also released for the PS2. But publishing team at Gung Ho. Whoa. All right, here we go. I went to go scroll, and then my screen on my computer went blip, blip,
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Goodbye.
Yeah, so the publishing team at Gung Ho have announced that they are bringing both Grandia 1 and 2 to the Switch, and the original Grandia will also come out for PC alongside the already released Grandia 2. Release dates have not been given yet, but the games are likely to arrive sometime in 2019, though they could release them sooner. The games will be remastered in high definition, and they're happy to report that the awesome battle system will stay the same. You can also build up those awesome tactics and shine as a team once again. Gung Ho has also confirmed that it'll be at PAX West in just a couple of weeks with a new demo for Grandia 2 HD, so fans can stop by and give it a look to see how it's shaping up. The Steam version will be available, though. No word on Switch. Game Arts and Gung Ho previously teamed up to release Grandia 2 Anniversary Edition for Steam back in 2015, and has since garnered critical acclaim from fans and critics alike, so it makes sense that the partnership would continue forward, this time for a port to the Switch, and you can order the Steam version of the HD remaster here. Grandia 2 is currently priced at $20 on Steam. There's a slight chance that this will be the same price for the Switch version, but also along with the original game. Gung Ho might have a package deal that includes both games in one shot, though we're waiting to hear the official deal. I hope they release them separately.
Yeah.
Because that way one of them won't be downloaded.
Right.
That's just me personally. As for Grandia 3, we haven't heard anything about that getting a re-release, although it could be getting a re-release for PS4. After all, they did get a re-release for the PS3, so... But I'm really excited for that. Those are two games that I did not expect to kind of come back around.
Right.
Gamescom, though, continues with Shenmue 3 getting a release date. Of course, this got released at the same E3 as the FF7 remake. Pretty much this was a never-gonna-happen gamer's dream day.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it was like you got your mind blown. Oh, my God. And then you got your mind blown again when they did the Shenmue thing. Like, I can't believe it. So Shenmue 1 and 2 just got released, I believe, this week. And Shenmue 3 will be released on August 27th, 2019. And as far as I'm aware, I don't know if it's completely exclusive to the PlayStation. But I think at start it will, because they helped kind of move it along and they kind of donated to it.
Right.
They didn't completely bankrupt, or maybe they didn't donate to it. I think they helped with advertising, maybe. But so PlayStation has some involvement in this. It doesn't mean it won't ever go to the Xbox, because the Shenmue 1 and 2 versions are going to Xbox. And,
right.
Of course, Shenmue 2 was released on the original Xbox, and of course the original Shenmue and 2 were released on Dreamcast, with the latter only being in Europe on Dreamcast. In a way, though, it almost seems like the Xbox would be the place to play it due to nostalgia.
Right.
And also with PlayStation being pretty much the thing that killed the Dreamcast in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. The Dreamcast was kind of on its way out anyways, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They were making a lot of wrong moves. They made a lot of wrong moves with the Saturn, when it's like, you have a year, or you have X amount of years. Oh, by the way, we're boosting it up a year early, so get your games done now. And people jumped.
So I clicked on this article and I didn't proofread it.
Uh-oh.
Like I read the other one.
Yeah.
So you and me are going to find out what this article's about on the fly.
Cool.
Microsoft could introduce an Xbox All Access program, including a console. Based on a report from Windows Central that appears to be happening, the company behind the Xbox is reportedly planning a program called Xbox All Access, a 2-year deal that not only nets players monthly access to Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass, but also payments towards an Xbox One console with both the S and the X. The program, that's currently in the works in the U.S., would offer $22 per month payments for the services of an Xbox One S, and $35 would be the X. Again, it would be for 2 years' time, and once that contract is up, the system would be theirs to keep. Though they would need to figure out another, you'd have to then subscribe to Live and to Game Pass after that.
So that's not a bad idea at all.
No. Considering
a lot of people are going this route
it says
phones and stuff.
Exactly. So considering that the Xbox One S goes for about $230 and the X is more around $500, make it easier for gamers to get their hands on some of the tech. With the program, you'd be paying $528 over 2 years for the S and $840 for the X. However, you're also paying for Live and Game Pass.
Yeah.
So your subscription of $35 for an Xbox One X for 2 years, you are overpaying for the console, but then you're also getting every single Microsoft exclusive day one.
How much is it? $35?
Yes.
Okay. And then minus $500 for the X.
Yeah.
And then $340. Okay, so what is the
Total?
No. How much is Game Pass?
Game Pass is $9.99. Live is $60 a year.
Times 12. $60 a year?
Yeah. You will be overpaying. It is sort of like, no.
You'll be underpaying. If that's true. Just for the Game Pass and the
Live
is $360. $359.76 plus
so then
500 equals 589 or 859.76.
you're paying $20 less. That's not a bad deal.
That's not a bad deal at all.
If I ever have that itch to get an X, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I'm not big on payments if I don't have to.
I agree with you. I 100% totally agree with you, and I wouldn't have no plan to do this.
Now on a brand new console that drops like the PS5 or something, yeah.
Now, okay, like because I'm not even 4K ready with my TVs, but
Right.
I am buying 4K media. I'm buying 4K movies, and if I'm going to buy a 4K Xbox, I'm not going to buy the S, which does 4K media but not 4K gaming.
Right.
I'm buying the freaking X.
Yep.
And for $35 a month, I'll get rid of a few subscriptions that I already have. And
Yeah.
it pays for it. And I have Live, which I won't need. So that's not really much. But I have Game Pass, which gives me every single Xbox first-party exclusive day one release, not to mention all the other crap they put on there.
Yep. You don't really need to buy a game
You wouldn't.
for a while.
For 2 years at least.
Yeah. And they just going to blow into another article, they just added the Halo edition to it. did
Or
they
the
not?
Master Chief Collection.
Master Chief Collection.
So so they have Halo 5, and now they have all the Halo 1 through 4s.
Yep.
So
They're all there.
if they do that, if I ever get a 4K TV, that might be tempting. It might
It'd be hard
tempting.
not to.
And the thing is that I already have an Xbox, but I have an original model.
Let's not tell our good buddy over at Podcastrophe, Blaine, about this.
He loves payments.
He loves
He
payments.
loves his payments. As for when the
I don't know how he
program,
keeps track of all of them.
as for when the program will be introduced, Microsoft hasn't said. It sounds like an announcement at Gamescom would be ideal since it was Germany, where the All Access program isn't likely to be available.
Right.
But maybe we'll see something after, possibly offered first through the Microsoft Store before being offered to other retailers. Buddy,
That's not a bad idea. It's really not.
when I get a 4K console, when I get a 4K TV, I'll be honest with you, that might be the route I go. Because at that point, I'm just updating my Xbox, depending on when that is and then what consoles are out. Because if I don't get one and the newer consoles come out and PS5's like, I play 4K media discs, I won't need it.
Yeah. Because we know you're getting a PS.
5. I'm getting a PlayStation 5. I'm a Sony pony, so like that's just the way it is. However, if they're like, yeah, no, we don't need it, and then I'm looking at them incredulously, like, you guys are stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I
You
understand.
invented it.
I understand more and more people are going digital with their movies and stuff like that, but they're still creating and selling 4K. They're releasing all of Game of Thrones in 4K on 4K Blu-ray.
I don't really care for that. I mean, it'd be kind of cool. I'm buying them.
I'm
buying them right now.
Oh well, I haven't bought any of the physical copies of Game of Thrones.
Right.
When I do, they're going to be 4K.
Yeah.
Because of course, what we all need in our lives, 4K medieval wieners. So.
Yeah, you get to see the giant.
Oh my gosh, Hodor. So we saw a new Resident Evil gameplay trailer today.
We did the Claire.
Claire versus William Birkin.
Yes. Wow. The guy who was playing.
Yeah, no,
I just want to let you know, you suck.
He wasn't very good. No, sorry about that, dude. But not sorry.
You know when he winds up to swing, you should probably not stand there and keep shooting and take it to the face.
You have a little button where you can spin and run away again.
Yes.
In a way, though, I kind of get it. He was trying to showcase some of the stuff.
Right.
That game looks amazing. It looks beyond amazing to me.
I love the way that he waits to the end to use the grenade launcher.
Yeah.
That's like your opener is the grenade launcher, and then
he kept. But it was cool though because it did showcase that you can switch weapons on the fly.
Yes.
You can
select.
You don't have to open up your thing and select the grenade launcher. Like the old games.
Then select the ammo for the grenade.
Yeah, it's right there. You just hit it. You tap a button, she pulls it out, man. Sounds dirty, but that's how it went. However, Capcom is open to a Resident Evil 3 remake.
I bet their pre-orders for this is phenomenal.
With Capcom's Resident Evil 2 remake just a few months away, the creators say that they're open to more remakes, specifically for Nemesis. The question of whether or not the third Resident Evil game could be remade, has been on the minds of Resident Evil fans even before the second game's remake got announced. But at one point, it seemed that even Capcom was teasing it themselves with a tweet that featured Nemesis, though they could have been engaging fan interest, So, the responses so far seem to indicate that everyone's open to replaying Resident Evil 3 in a remade version. And according to Capcom, the idea is that it's still on the table. Trusted Reviews spoke to Capcom at Gamescom this year and spoke to game director Kazunori Kadoi. Wow, I actually said the dude's name right.
Good job.
And producer, oh gosh, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Get this.
Yoshiaki Hirabayashi. Actually, I thought I was going to have more trouble with the second name. But they talked to him about Resident Evil 2 and the possibility of other remakes. And when asked specifically if they'd be open to returning to Resident Evil 3, the two said that there is no telling what the future holds for Capcom and Resident Evil. We're currently focused on Resident Evil 2 remake, getting it out the door, and seeing how everyone receives it in January. But who knows what the future holds? It's not a definite answer that they will or are working on one, but it's certainly not a no, considering the positive response that the remake of 2 has gotten so far and how intense it felt during our E3 demo. The future looks bright for more Resident Evil remakes. Nemesis, for those who never played it before, featured Jill Valentine 1999 game, fixed camera angles, and basically took place before and after 2. So the game was also released in different versions, porting it to the PS3, digital, Dreamcast, GameCube, all that kind of stuff.
So I think that would be a great idea, because think of the chase scenes with Nemesis now. God.
It'd be intense.
It would be way more intense now, because even before, when he breaks through the wall of the police station, you're like, shit, what do I do? Run! And you don't really know where you're supposed to go, and you have to go to the right place first, or you're done.
Because he follows you.
Right, and you have to kind of be real dodgy about where you go. But I think a new one now, where you have the option to dodge him and stuff, that would be awesome.
Well, they actually did have a dodge in the game, but you actually had to hit it right. And
you had to hit it right.
It worked half the time.
Yeah. But I would think it would be really cool to do that, to incorporate that. into the game. I mean, if you take what you have with this RE2, what we've seen so far, and just throw the Nemesis chases in it, you're done.
It's just use the same engine.
It's the same thing. Don't change anything. Just, it would be phenomenal.
Copy, paste. Whoop.
Yep.
So, last story for the day. Congressman charged for spending $1,500 in campaign funds on Steam games. So, I read this. I actually pre-read this because it's a little bit misleading, but we'll get there. So, of course, all these articles today have been provided from the gaming division of comicbook.com. Please go check those guys out. I don't want to give anybody not any credit because all these guys, I get a lot of my news from comicbook.com, and I actually peruse their gaming section more than I do look at IGN now.
Ooh.
I mean, sometimes they get stuff posted earlier, and it's like
plagiarism.
Hopefully not. But I mean, on Comic Book, I get all of my movie news. I get my my Walking Dead news if I care about it. My Dragon Ball news is all there, and then my gaming news is. And sometimes they even post wrestling stuff if it's a big thing going on. So.
Right.
Hey man, it's not a bad place for centralized news. But they write, a California congressman has been charged with campaign finance violations, among other infractions, and that involves the misuse of $250,000 in campaign funds. $1,500 of that, specifically $1,528.68, was spent on Steam games in 2015. Congressman Duncan Hunter is the politician who, along with his wife Margaret, was formally charged with wire fraud, falsifying records, campaign finance violations, and conspiracy in regards to the campaign funds. When the Steam purchases that used the congressman's campaign funds were discovered back in April 2016, when the Federal Election Commission began questioning Hunter, his spokesman said that the charges were a result of Hunter's son using the congressman's credit card for one game.
Wow.
So,
what game were you playing?
Star Citizen.
Star Citizen. I was going to say Star Citizen. I don't even think that's not on Steam, so it couldn't be.
It was just a joke.
I know.
Especially for that one DLC they have where you pay like $28,000 and get something.
It's not DLC.
Well,
it's a chip.
I'm just saying. But then you got to spend like the $1,000 to even get to that.
Yeah.
To even access for that. So Hunter said that several unauthorized purchases were made after the charges went through for the first game. Charges that he said he wanted to have reversed. However, it was discovered that those charges appeared to be more than just a few accidental purchases. Records showed that the purchases were made over a course of 2 months between October 13th and December 16th, with 68 different purchases being made to a total of over $1,500 in gaming purchases. At one point, a charge of $96 went through despite Hunter's claims that he attempted to close access to the website. It was originally reported that the congressman had spent just over $1,300 on the games. It appears the grand total was even larger. As of Tuesday, prosecutors have officially charged the congressman for the misuse of campaign funds, with the charges mentioning above being levied against he and his wife. The story of how the purchases were made and whether or not they were intentional or not has not changed through, though, with Hunter's wife saying they were personal purchases and mistakenly put on the campaign credit card. In a stance that differs from Hunter's original statement saying that the charges were unauthorized. It was also said that the two would repay the campaign for the Steam purchases made in 2015, but according to the documents shared by Federal Election Commission, Margaret Hunter told the family's bank that the purchases were fraudulent and got a credit for the funds that were spent. So the charges were spent. She went to the bank and said, nope, it wasn't supposed to happen. And then she got the money for that.
Wow.
The money spent on the Steam's game was just a fraction of the campaign funds that the Federal Election Commission says the congressman misused. However, in other instances of personal spending, including vacations, salon and dental trips, and other forms of inappropriate spending that the congressman's family now have to address.
I don't even know what to say. Like, how do you use the wrong credit card?
Look, especially if it was his kid.
I could see the kid. Like, if he's like, Dad, can I use your credit card to buy some games on Steam? Yeah, go ahead. And he grabs the wrong card. That's understandable. And pay it back. Get it. But dental?
Yeah.
And the vacations, to a degree, you could say, like most politicians do anyways, and it was a campaign, a political vacation, and he took his family.
Well, now, you got to think that these donations, in large in part, are coming from small donors.
Yes.
Okay, that's $250,000. I will probably never in my life ever see that in my bank account.
Oh, no.
And they misused, allegedly, that much. $1,500 of that on video games or in-game purchases.
Right.
This kid's like trying to be a big Fortnite player, buying all those dances.
Yeah. You got to be the cool kid with the new dances.
So I thought, when I saw that, I said, we're definitely talking about that. And we were definitely reading that article on air because it's really relevant with the news that just broke out on a much higher level.
Yeah.
With our current presidential administration and people within that administration being charged and found guilty of stuff that worked in the campaign. Some of that results in misuse of campaign funds, a.k.a. misuse of citizens' money.
Yes.
There are laws, and there's a reason why these people are being, charged for that. And a mistake, I understand. What I don't understand is $1,500. I want to know how much this guy gets paid to let his kid over 2 months spend $1,500 on games. Can you imagine what our wives would do to us if we spent $1,500 a piece on games?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't use Steam enough to know off the top of my head. I think that you can enter your credit card, and then you can just pull it up whenever you want. Once it's there, you can say purchase on this card, done. So there could be that he just put the card on the account and then just continuously did it, and they would not know if they didn't receive a bill,
a statement
stating, hey.
Well, because then, all right, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, that means the kid is doing something like to steal from, first of all, his parents. If my kid did that, like, he would never play another video game in his life. Like if he said, "Hey, Dad, can I buy a game? How much? What is it?" "Oh, it's just this game. It's like $60. It just came out." "Okay, you can buy that one." And then he goes on over 2 months to spend $1,500. Buddy,
you ain't playing any more games.
You ain't having any entertainment in your room for a long time. It's gonna be nice and quiet in there.
Yeah.
And guess what? You can sit here on the couch and watch me play games. "Dad, your games suck." They're gonna suck a lot more when you can't walk away and go into your room and play your own.
Yeah.
No, that is not okay. That is not okay. I mean, it's not okay on any level of this story, but it's like, if I looked at my wife and said, I went to Disc Replay. "Okay, what'd you buy?" A lot. "What do you mean a lot?" Like, did you spend what? About $1,500. She would blow a gasket.
Oh, yeah.
She'd probably like kick
take
me
it
out
all
of
back now.
Yeah, take it all back. It's all defective. No, it ain't.
It is
Scratch.
now.
It is now. Oh yeah, no, that.
Yeah.
And so basically, on any terms, if you're younger and you have parents, please don't do that to them. Just be straight up. If they say no and they say, no, you can't buy that game, either go earn it yourself or do stuff to try and to convince them. Either do stuff around the house, do your due diligence, work hard for your money, work hard for what you get.
Mow lawns.
Do something.
You can mow. If you get $20 a lawn, you can mow 3 lawns, and there you go. On
the other hand, if you're a parent, please, for the love of God, police your children on the internet.
Yes.
You okay? My kid is not going to have access to my card on his Steam, on his PlayStation, on his shit. Do you know what? If he wants something and he wants to download something, you know what we're going to get him? A gift card.
Yeah.
It will be bought. That is the best way for that. Do not just give people access to your fucking cards, whether or not they're your kid or not, and they're a good kid. Guess what could happen? Something like they claim happened, where he put the card in, somebody hacked his account.
Right.
If I put my card on something that I know it's on, and I've had it happen where someone stole my card.
Yep.
You know what? It's the digital age and it happens. But by all means, protect your shit.
Yes.
We have reached near the end of our podcast. We have one more thing to talk about. That is the round 2 results for the greatest controller of all time. Bracket.
Did you send me that bracket already?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's... I don't know if I sent it to you, but it's...
I should have it somewhere.
Maybe. I know I posted it in a lot of places.
See, I can find it on the post.
So, I need to find I wrote my notes. So, the matchups this week are the Switch Pro controller versus the GameCube controller. The DualShock 3 versus the original launch PS1 controller. The Sega Genesis 6-button controller versus the Nintendo 64 controller. The PS4 versus the Xbox One, battle of the current gens.
Yeah.
The Sega Saturn 3D controller versus the Wii U Pro controller. The Xbox 360 versus the Wii U gamepad. The DualShock 1 versus the Wii Remote. And lastly, the NES controller versus the Xbox OG, the Duke.
The Duke.
So,
I got it. I pulled it up.
All right. I've got the results in front of me. First one, Switch Pro versus the GameCube.
This is a hard one.
It is a hard one. I enjoy both of them, but I instantly, when I saw the matchup, I knew where I was going.
So, I love my Cube controller.
Mm-hmm.
But that Switch Pro controller is so damn good.
Word. That's where I'm going to.
It's good. It's so goddamn good.
That's where I'm going to. Switch Pro controller wins it. It was up by 1 vote. So had you gone Cube, I was already going Switch.
Yeah.
It was going to win. There was a chance it could have swung the other way if we had both gone Cube.
I wanted to win, but it's so good.
But the voting was tight on that. The next one. Hold on. Let me see if I can actually get in here. That way I can write down who won. That way I'm pretty sure I will remember. But DualShock 3 versus OG PS1. I think this is an easy call for me.
You're going with the DualShock 3.
I'm going with DualShock 3.
Old PS.
You're going old PS?
Yeah.
The winner is the DualShock 3.
Yeah, I figured.
It kind of blew it out of the water.
I hate the sticks on that freaking controller.
I don't mind the sticks. It's the triggers that get me on that controller. I don't think the DualShock 3 is going to win whatsoever because then that's going to be facing the
Switch.
The Switch Pro controller.
Yep.
So, the next battle, Genesis 6-button versus N64.
Which is funny because right before that, the 64 beat out the Sega Saturn, which is basically the same controller.
Almost the same controller. Which is like I love the Genesis 6-button, so that's where my vote goes.
I'm going there. I do not like the 64 controller.
So with our votes in, the N64 wins by 1 vote.
Oh wow.
It was close.
It was.
So the next one, Saturn 3D versus Wii U Pro.
Wait, you skipped the DualShock
Oh, was that one next? The DualShock
Yeah.
1?
It's this is a bracket.
Let me see it.
There's a bracket right there.
Oh, I did. Never mind. I just skipped right over it. Battle of the current gen PS4 controller versus the Xbox One. Well, I own both. I know you don't.
Nope.
I love the Xbox One sticks. I love them so much I put them in my PS4 controller.
Yes.
Be that as it may, that is the only slight on the PS4 for me.
Yes, that is the only negative that I have for it.
The Xbox One controller, I have gotten really comfortable with that controller. I like it. I actually do. Not as much as the previous gen.
The 360 is just superior.
I don't know what it is. If it's just the curve of the front. It's fine. It's not uncomfortable. I also love the rumble in the sticks, especially for racing games.
Yeah.
And then for shooters, you feel it right in there. That's cool. I don't like how high the bumpers are, though. It took me a while to learn where to put my fingers because at first I kept hitting those bumpers. So my vote goes for PS4.
Well, you know where mine's going.
PS4.
Yeah.
PS4 wins that one. It was not even close. Now we're at the Saturn 3D versus the Wii U Pro. Have you ever used a Saturn 3D controller?
No, because it's only used for one game.
No.
How many?
It's a lot of games.
Really?
There's a whole list of them. I looked them up.
I've never.
Because I could have swore that I used it not for Nights into Dreams, even though that's what it came out for.
Yeah.
Like, I played that on another game. I know I did. And I was right. I wasn't wrong. I wasn't making it up. I wasn't dreaming. I wasn't whatever. No.
I get it.
But I don't. Dreaming in Nights and anyway, I've only ever played it once. It's not bad. But it's not the Wii U Pro.
No, Pro wins.
Pro wins. And guess how? It's a blowout. Nobody voted. Voted anywhere for the Saturn 3D. That poor fella. Saturn just no love for the Segas, man. Xbox 360 versus the Wii U gamepad.
So, I like the Wii U gamepad.
I kind of do too.
It works great for the system.
It works great for the system.
Do not like the button layout at all.
It's a little wonky, but I get used to it.
But I love the Xbox 360 controller. It's a fantastic controller. That's my vote.
Same. And it wins. No doubt about it. DualShock 1 versus Wii Remote. It's not really fair because the DualShocks are so close, but I did want to include a non-DualShock 3 DualShock because they're actually better because the DualShock 3 has the trigger, but they're rounded, so your fingers just slide right off of them.
Yeah.
Case in point, I put like these trigger extenders on mine that make them curve out, and they're much more useful.
Yeah.
I'm actually fond of the Wiimote. I think it has a lot of pluses and some negatives, but in this term, when you're putting it up against the original DualShock, I'm going DualShock.
Yeah, I'd go DualShock.
That won in a blowout. Nobody voted for Wii Remote this time.
Huh.
It won that first round, but didn't garner a single vote. This next one, NES versus the Duke. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I like the Duke.
Do you?
I do. But it's the original controller. Like, it is the reason we have what we have today.
Are you ready for what I'm about to tell you?
Yeah.
We have a tie.
You should have told me that. You should have let me pick first.
You and me are going to break this.
Or we're going to tie it.
That's quite possible.
I mean, it's hard to get away from the fact that the Nintendo Entertainment System controller revolutionized gaming today.
But the Xbox Duke
is a great controller.
It is. A lot of people like the Duke.
I really like
the Duke. The Hyperkin just re-released it for the Xbox One.
Yeah, I had a friend who had his ordered, and he did a video he sent me of him pulling the Duke out. Like, Yes. I'm going Duke.
I went NES.
So
So we're tied. We're tied. We need a tie.
How are we gonna do the tiebreaker? I can't call Joanna in here because she
No, because she don't know.
She don't play either one of them.
I think the only fair way is a coin toss. Because I love both controllers.
And like I said, it's hard for me. Like I want to swing Nintendo because it is what we have today. It's the reason why.
That is why I kind of voted for it, and it's the OG is the first one to have a D-pad. It was it's the OG, and I really like the Duke. I like it a lot.
I like it,
but I kind of liked the S a little bit more. It fit better in my hands.
See, I had the original Duke, so the dual slot Duke, and I
So let's get a coin. You got a
all
coin?
right, let me get up and get a coin. There's one somewhere right in here. I gotta move everything.
Of course you do.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll go to the bathroom too.
Of course you will.
Shush. Coin. Where would I find the coin?
I don't know. I really probably should have planned for this. Because
Ooh, you know what?
What?
You gotta say that I said what?
Oh, we have an Assassin's Creed Unity coin. I don't even remember where you got this from. Was it Loot Crate?
Loot Crate. Wait. Let me get the Loot Crate.
Loot Crate Assassin's Creed Unity coin. So we're gonna go with the Unity side. That's NES. The Assassin's Creed logo is Duke. Okay. You ready for this?
Yeah, hold on. Let me move my mic around so that I can see the fall. Well, it's going to land next to me. That would be Unity is on top.
NES takes it. NES takes it. Wow.
With a toin cost.
With a coin cost. With a toin cost.
Wow.
So we got to look at the next round matchups, which, of course, we already kind of told you one of them. We have the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller versus the DualShock 3. Who would have ever thought the DualShock 3 would make it this far in? It's all random, though. That's why. But, I mean, the DualShock 3 beat the Joy-Cons, and then it beat the OG. Now it's got to get past the Switch Pro, which
it's not getting past the Switch Pro.
I don't think so either. I think the buck stops here. The N64 controller meets the DualShock 4. That's going to be interesting. A lot of people have a like for the N64 controller.
I know.
But that DualShock 4 did really well. Then we have the Wii U Pro controller versus the Xbox 360 controller. That's going to be awesome because when you look at those, it's so easy to see where Nintendo got the inspiration for their Wii U Pro controller. Then we have the original DualShock versus the original D-pad.
I can pick that one. I know it's. I think the. Yeah.
So what we're going to do here, guys, for these next matchups, we are going to pick our votes now, but we're not going to tell either one of us, okay? And that's because we don't want any of the votes to swing our votes. Even though we haven't done that, I certainly haven't.
Hi, dog meat.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, he's licking the mic. It's funny. He's licking the mic, which is me.
I get it.
Hi, dog meat. Hi, pal.
So I'm currently writing down some of these.
All right, I guess I'll pull up my pad. My notepad, not my pad.
We're going to do it right now. We're going to pick them, and that way when we come back next week, our picks are already done. And we can't change our vote. We can't do any of that. Even though I haven't done that, I've always voted with something even if I see it's losing. I haven't changed it. Or even if it's already winning. And my vote could swing it, I have not done that. I chose the NES one when I saw what the vote was and I thought it was a tie. I seriously thought you were going to go NES. So when you went Duke, I went, all right.
But the NES still, it was a hard choice. I like the Duke controller, but here's the thing. I modded my Xbox to play Nintendo games on it.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that button schematic, which is completely different, by the way.
All right. First matchup, Switch Pro versus DualShock 3. My pick is in.
Mine is in also.
N64 versus DualShock 4. My pick is in.
Yeah.
Wii U Pro versus Xbox 360.
Mine is in.
Mine is in as well. And DualShock 1 versus NES.
Mine is in.
Same. All right, guys. Well, please go vote on our social medias. By the time you hear this, the voting may not be live yet on Twitter or Facebook, but it will be later on this evening. Please go check back after 5, 6 o'clock, whatever. That's usually when I get home from work on Thursdays, and I go right to work on that. I sit down and I make up the new bracket. I'll post the picture. So go subscribe or follow or like, whatever you got to do to our pages, and check that out and help us shape it up, because these are going to get down to the nitty-gritty to where it's going to be difficult to choose.
I need to give this to Blaine.
Oh, yeah, you were going to give that to him, weren't you?
Yep.
I don't even know if he even has that game anymore.
Because he loves the Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. He likes Assassin's Creed.
I think he has this coin because he got the collector's edition for Unity.
Is that what it came in?
I think it did, but I know that I got mine from
Loot Crate.
Loot Crate.
Interesting. Well, yeah, guys, please go to all our social medias. The picture will be up on all 3, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Game Addicts Play on all those. Check us out on Twitch, where I'm going live on gaming. I don't know what I'm going to be streaming next, but I think it's going to be on Friday night. I'm going to stream something, whether that's FF7 or something random out of the box. But I now am getting the handle of Twitch streaming. The schedule is our Monday nights, Friday nights, and Sundays. Yeah. So Sundays may or may not happen depending on family stuff. But when it's available, I will be just hanging out and chilling out. So please go follow us on Twitch and help us grow those follow numbers. If you miss out on any of those, it's on the VOD. Of course, most everything there is going to get backed up over on our YouTube page. So do check out our YouTube page and subscribe there. Help us get to 100. Help us. You can listen to the podcast, and here soon you're going to be able to watch it there as well. We're going to bring video back when we start streaming the podcast on Twitch every single Wednesday when we do that show. Sometime between 4 and 6 is when we're going to start. So I have the podcast time as 4 to 8. It's not going to be 4 hours, but that's just a lot of time. So that's how that's going to be. But if you don't do any of that, please download our podcast on audio form anywhere the podcasts are available. Pretty much Apple, TuneIn, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts. Missing one. Podbean. Podbean's our host. Our gracious host over at Podbean.
Can't miss them.
Yeah, I know, man. GameAddictsPodcast.com. Please go check that out. And if you want to support us, we now have a donate link over on Twitch. So if you want to, please, you guys don't have to.
Yes, not a requirement.
Never, ever have to give us anything. Just your viewership is enough for us. We absolutely love you guys for everything that you have interacted with us. You guys reached out, comment, everything. We love it all. We want to hear what your favorite controller is of all time. And who knows?
Even if it's not on the list, let us know.
Even if it wasn't on the list. I mean, there are some that it had to be 24 because I thought, man, I'd be like fudging it to get a 32. Maybe we'll do some sort of other bracket in the future. I'm thinking of doing game systems and maybe handhelds. That would be fun.
Yes, I would definitely do systems.
Yeah, we'll see. I was thinking for systems, we might be able to get to 24. Handhelds, we may have to do down to like 16.
Right.
But we won't do that right away. We'll let this settle and meddle and prep up for episode 100, which is coming up in October. And maybe we'll do one after that sometime. So until that time comes, thank you guys for checking out this episode, liking and doing all that kind of stuff. We really appreciate you. I've been Brando.
And I've been Mike.
We'll see you next week, guys, with round 3 for the greatest controller of all time. Until then, later on, guys, game on. Have a good one. Bye.